You were tuned in to episode 94 of the Goodfellas podcast. G5FTV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. Got my main man in the building, VP Shane. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? I'm good.
And down the bottom is Boxing First Vlog, aka the General, aka Blunt, aka Blunt Bayless, aka Mr. 1K in the building. What's going on, good brother?
Man, you know me, just running a gauntlet in these boxing streets, you know what I'm saying? Unscathed, you dig? You know what it is.
Absolutely. Yo, we got a packed show. Listen, we got a packed show today. David Benavidez took care of business as expected. Um, we got some updated Canelo Alvarez news. We
Craig
got some
Richard,
news. Craig Richards, Buatsi, that was a great fight. Um,
Babbage,
Babbage,
Pascal,
Ortiz, and Herring, Pascal.
Pascal. Yeah.
We got a lot to cover. Before we get started, though, I have to give the man down the bottom his flowers. Before we get started, in the last show, he did say he's seen no upsets for Saturday, and it pretty much played out. That way. So you got to give the flowers to Boxing First Vlog
Credit.
on the prediction scale.
It's me, baby, you know what it is.
I would say this though. One of the fights are real close.
It was a couple of them. The Davies fight, the Lopez Encarnacion fight.
The Babbage fight.
Babbage, but I mean, you could say it was close because dude ain't had no quit in him. You know what I mean? I wasn't knocking old boy.
He nearly put Babbage's head in a casket.
Yeah, but he caught him late though. That was late. That was after the bell. That was late. He caught him clean late. He caught him fresh behind the head early. The first shot in the first round was behind the head. And the second one, where it was later on in the fight, it was after the bell. That was after the bell, bro. I watched every single fight this weekend. Can't nobody in boxing say they watched every single fight and got the 1-2 on every fight. I do. And only people that pitched the shutout was the females from Dezan. They pitched straight shutouts. They ain't had no activity, wasn't no resistance in their fights because their skills were so much superior, but their competition wasn't bad. It's just
Blunt is like when I remember a couple years ago, like I was doing what Blunt was doing, but I gotta give Blunt credit because when you're watching boxing and it becomes a point where it starts to become a bit not draining, but you watch card after card, and it's like after a while, like some cards are just not as entertaining as others, and especially when you're watching it in different time zones, it's just very difficult to keep track. So credit to Blunt for that this week because to watch every single card this week.
I thought all the cards were balanced. It wasn't nothing that was too dull. You know what I mean? Because like I said, even with the champions, the unified champ and the other champion in the ladies category, their names just not right on the top of my tongue. But y'all know who it is. They you know what I mean, they put shutouts, bro. That was just outstanding work by them. But their fights weren't dull, even though it was kind of like how Haney Linares. It was still a very entertaining fight. Technically, if you look back at it, it was one-sided. You know what I mean? Linares had like one moment in that fight sort of thing, but those ladies still had good fights, even though technically they were one-sided. So I thought all cards were balanced. It was a little bit of, you know what I mean? A little bit of cards where you could kind of go, well, what style did the judges like on a particular fight, like the Lopez fight where the guy got dropped twice, but the OG was just getting volume that time. He was catching a lot of volume at different times, even though his little single shots was getting home. But those like that, and then you got to look at the Davies fight. You know what I mean? Good work by Molina, but what style did the judges like? Did they like him fighting off the back foot, or did they like Davies Jr. coming forward? Yeah, it seemed like obviously they like Davies Jr. coming forward. So
yeah,
I thought decent cards all around. Shout out to Herring too, man. I thought he did the best he could do, man. I told everybody that young boy speed. And then that young boy switched up. He didn't even combinate punch on him. He was just counter punching him to death.
Yeah. Let me get in these comments real quick. Chris G in the building, my boxing son. He said, I thought the fight would have went at least 6. Benavidez did good. All right, listen,
Bro,
Chris. That fight, Harvey Dock said he was going to stop it after the first round, and the bell saved David. David Lemieux.
I thought the fight would have gone. I didn't think the fight would have passed 5. I think I said it in the last live as well. I said I thought the fight wouldn't go past 5. I mean, Benavidez is a top 168 pounder. I feel like this guy needs top level opposition. You know, David Lemieux is that individual. You know, he needs top level opposition.
What you think about the fight, Blunt?
Bro, that looked like a cruiserweight fighting a welterweight, bro. That shit. That remind me of Tagu Garcia, bro. Just come on, bro. What's with the physical mismatches and like somebody think that shit is sellable? Like you sold us Lemieux name, you sold us Lemieux past history, bro. Lemieux ain't doing nothing at 168 now to be diving in the deep end, bro. You had trouble in your first 168 fight, and then you won it. But he, like your boy said, he was the only one that wanted to accept the offer.
I'm not necessarily convinced by that neither. I'm not necessarily convinced by that.
Why?
There's dudes out there that would have posed to me, like you got to remember, if you remove the political aspect of boxing, I feel like you can't say David Lemieux's the only one who would have accepted the offer. When you bring in politics, then that makes sense because PBC only work with PBC, so that's why.
I mean, but there's guys on PBC that obviously not talking about it, where it's not in the public. Like, yeah, we just working out some numbers and a particular date. This would be known information if if Pillow Hands was accepting the fight offer or thinking about the fight offer. It would be talked about if Charlo next step was Benavidez. Let me get rid of Sulicki. And you know what I'm saying? I'm all hands on deck for this Benavidez fight to get right in the camp, get your weight up, things like that. These things will be talked about. So obviously, with that not being talked about, he had to fight somebody.
Can I ask a question? This is to all my Benavidez fans, and I'm seeing Chris G in the comments, so you know it's mainly to Chris G. Why stay at 168? That's my question. Why stay at 168?
Because it's easy waters, baby. Easy
One
water.
second, I want to check something. Someone just sent me something.
Easy waters at 168. It's very calm. You know what I mean? Go put your feet up on the beach. Ain't no tide coming in.
No, but this is my question. The reason why I'm asking that is if you're in a situation where there's better competition up at a weight class, you know, you might as well move up.
I can answer that though. I can answer that. 2 reasons. Number one, he's going to have a clear size advantage against anybody he faces at 168. That's number one. And number two, 168 is the only division where he can get all of the titles and the biggest payday all in one fight.
That's you can't. But you can't.
Hold on. You know what that boils down to? Weight bully.
That's my point. Are we giving him credit then? That's what I'm saying. Are we giving him credit?
I can't give him credit for the stage of 168 right now. It's not the highest competitive division in boxing. It has some names. It has a potential name to go jump into those waters, but it's not very competitive.
But this is my argument, and I agree with Blunt on this one. Rarely, me and Blunt are on the same page. But this is where I'm saying, like, if you're chasing greatness or you're trying to take the best level opposition, we've seen numerous fighters like Rigondeaux, for example. Rigondeaux, he wasn't a natural 130, but he moved up to 130 to fight Lomachenko. Do you see my point? You know, there's fighters where you can't get fights at your weight class, so you move up. And the reason why I disagree with Jeff, for once I disagree with Jeff, is when you look at the fact that you said Canelo, you can get Canelo and get all the straps and all the money in one fight. He can't, because Canelo ain't gonna fight him.
But you got to pay attention to your question though. You said, why is he at 168? So I'm answering as if I'm him. I'm not. That's not my
But
personal opinion. That if you asking me personally, I'm giving you a different answer. But I was answering your question.
if you're gonna stand the test, and you're gonna be up against dudes like David Lemieux and what was the other what's his name? Kyron. Who did he fought before this?
Kyron Davis.
Kyron Davis. Who did he fight before that? What's that other dude? Darrell and all of those dudes.
We just fought. He just fought.
I
Who
mean,
was the guy we watched
like
on film?
weight bully to me. Sound like weight bully. That's all
To
it sounds
me-
like. 'Cause if you physically looked up the matchup last night or Saturday night, bro, come on, bro.
Dennis Dublin and all of those dudes. I'm just thinking to myself, let's just keeping it. What if we're keeping it 100? You might as well move to 175. He could get a fight with Marcus Brown. He could get a fight with Jean Pascal. He could get a fight with I don't even know. I could go through the list of fighters.
Let me ask you a question. David Lemieux versus Buatsi, who wins? We saw them both Saturday. So
Buatsi mops him.
Buatsi's a 175.
Yeah, he's 175.
We talking about him going to 175. Am I correct?
No,
you say David Lemieux.
You said Lemieux. You meant Benavidez.
No, I didn't say. Well, I'm not bad. You know, goddamn well, I wasn't thinking about Lemieux. Benavidez and Buatsi. My bad. I apologize, but you know,
that's a tough fight. I think Benavidez gets it though. I think Benavidez gets it.
I don't know.
He looked real. He didn't look fleet of foot last night. He looked like a big jolly green giant. And if somebody like Buatsi that inside game is tough, that will push him back and also was fighting that range because his jab was on point, there's trouble.
But what did Craig Richards? Craig Richards exposed parts of Buatsi as well, which was when this guy fights in spurts. If you can make this dude work when he wants to rest, you never know. Because if you look at it, Craig Richards, even though Buatsi came aggressive and he hit with good shots, he was all Craig Richards was always coming back. You know, he never let Buatsi just stay on top of him. It seems
like we done moved on. How you scored a fight?
I scored it. I personally scored it 8-4. 8-4 Buatsi, but to me, I felt like there was a few close rounds, and I feel like the only person who was significantly hurt in that fight was Buatsi.
I had a 10-2.
That's crazy. 10-2 to who? Buatsi.
Yeah, man, he was mopping that boy, man. He was taking your boy best shot. You saying he was hurt? I don't remember a moment in the fight where he was so rattled. Like everybody
bro. Go watch that round 8, bro. Round 8, bro. This dude literally held. He got hit with that 2-piece, and he was literally out on his feet. You don't remember that?
He got rocked in round 8. He got rocked in round
8. So y'all seen him hurt, but where's the credit given to when he did get hurt? He did the intelligent thing.
I'm giving him credit, but you said you didn't see him get hurt.
I didn't see it. It didn't affect the fight. It didn't affect the outcome of the fight.
That's two different.
No, hold on. But that's two different comments, though. Did he get hurt?
All right.
Did he get hurt?
Okay. Well,
you said he didn't get hurt. You didn't say he didn't. It didn't affect the fight.
Well, all right. I'll give you. I didn't further explain myself, but when people say he got hurt, that's what stands out in the fight. Oh, he got hurt, but people are not remembering he actually won every freaking round in that fight, damn near. So. You put that out there, and then you can misconstrue somebody's mindset on what the true outcome of the fight was.
I disagree because I thought round 7, I thought round 6, 7, 8. I thought were Craig Richards rounds, and I'll tell you why I thought those were Craig Richards rounds. Where I thought Craig Richards done amazing in those rounds was the fact that in those rounds, Buatsi was fighting too much in spurts. He was fighting too much. He will have an attack for 20 seconds, take a 30-second, 20-second break, and walk around the ring. He would have attack again for another 20 seconds. He was fighting too much in spurts. And what I liked about Craig Richards, after being down on the cards, he was making Buatsi work in every single minute of that round in those 3 rounds. And I felt like he should have done that from the first round. If you go watch that fight back, and I could be wrong, but when I watched that fight, I can
counter that. Why he didn't do it from 1 to 4? the way you saying he did it from 7, believe you said from 7 to 9 or 6 to 9.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, yes.
He had to conserve his energy. He's not a guy that's a high volume guy anyway. So if he gets started too early, what will he have late? Will he be defensively sound late? So he it sound to me like you saying he gave up the early rounds on some Loma type shit and wanted to try to, you know what I mean, catch up and get the engine going later in the fight, but you behind the 8 ball. So
yeah.
And then the guy you behind the 8 ball with, it's not like you got that real one shot stinger. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all saying he had to hit it, he hurt him. But where's the rest of it that he finished him off with? So even though you might have hurt him, do you have the ability to finish? Obviously he didn't.
I mean, we'll get through the comments, Jeff. But before that, I think we also got to give credit to Buatsi and Richards for having real good chins. You know, they both landed real big shots in that shot.
Yeah, I got a chin rankings right now. I got a chin rankings for your ass. Because Babbage got a motherfucking monster chin. Man. He got a Cadillac chin, 70s Cadillac.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a second, but that was crazy. Andre Southgate, he says, salute to all here listening. Big shout out to you, Andre Southgate. Big shout out to you. Jamie Leroy in the building. Big shout out. He said Babbage fight was one crazy fight, but calling out Oscar Rivas is a step too far.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oscar Rivas is subject to the punch as Babbage is.
I mean, they're both at the same weight class. If you don't call out a dude at the same weight class as you, then what's the point? You shouldn't be.
And that's the only money fight for him. If he gonna be in that, I'm gonna say bridge weight, because that should be the proper name for the division, bridge weight division. If he gonna be in that division, you gotta call out the top dogs in that division.
Exactly. I don't know why people keep saying that. It's stupid.
Does people outside of the WBC acknowledge bridge weight? Was that just a WBC?
No, just WBC.
Right now, just WBC, but everybody gonna catch on, especially if you get the crown and making big fights or semi-big fights in that division. And Rivas and Babbage, because you know Babbage got the pull. He gonna be the A-side champion or not in that particular contest. But Rivas has a recognizable name from his spurts at heavyweight.
Yeah, facts. Slimy Guys team, big shout out to you. Said salute, fellas. Salute to you. Chris G said Benavidez pretty much got a first round TKO, cruiserweight versus welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like that on the screen to me. That shit was a monstrous difference.
Chris G. Lemieux almost died trying to make 160. So if you can't make the weight, you go up. No, we're not disagreeing with that. Not disagreeing.
Tell that to Benavidez.
But they said he did it comfortably though. They said he did. I listened to a lot of interviews and things.
No, I vlog. Let me follow up with that. So we went before and we was like Lemieux. That's why I've been kind of like hesitant on this subject, because before, when we were saying he was overweight, he was coming in overweight and all that, we was just like, yo, like he needs to move up. Vlog, correct me if I'm wrong. I think his last 3 fights, he's come in comfortable. He's coming in comfortable. It's not like he's 68 on the nose. He's coming in like 66 and a half.
That's very easy to say. This is what I'm saying. That's very easy to say when you've already lost your belt on the scales, bro. Do you see my point? You've already lost your belt on the scales.
Yeah, but bro, let me add this real quick. We don't give fighters credit for things that happen in everyday life that give us our lives a certain balance. So when he was running around doing things in the streets that he was doing that helped cause his loss of his title, he didn't have that balance. Now he got that. Wifey, kid, you know what I mean? Now I'm living more structured. So things like that, when it's out of whack, say, take for instance the Tiafimo situation, that can affect your performance in the ring. Like if you got shit going on at home, you don't go to work with the best mindset and your personality open to, interacting with your co-workers the way you normally do. You might go to work edgy and, you know what I'm saying? So it can happen with boxers too.
Do you know why I'm saying what I'm saying, bro? And this is me being fair, and I'm just being honest, bro. I see a lot of people say this, but what I don't want to see then, if we're saying he's a natural 168, because as soon as I say what I'm going to say, you guys are going to agree. If we're saying he's a natural 168, if he then fights and loses at 168, what I don't want to hear is, oh, he wasn't a natural 168 and he was weight trained. That's what I don't want to hear. You see my point?
I don't
Because we
think
hear it a
anybody's
lot in
doing
boxing.
I can't disagree with that.
Do we
You
not
can't
hear that
have
a
it
lot in
both
boxing,
ways.
Jeff?
Yeah, you can't have it
Yeah,
both ways.
you hear it a lot in boxing. I mean, and people may say that if Benavidez get beat, but yeah, I mean, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying
Can we ask a question? Why is there no talk about this Triple G Canelo fight?
We're gonna get to
that.
that.
We're
Don't
gonna
leave
get to
these
that.
comments. We're gonna
We're gonna
get to
get to
that.
that.
I'm gonna tell you what I've been told today.
We're gonna circle the block. We're gonna circle the block. We're gonna get to that. Chris G.
Y'all setting the agenda.
Chris G. They're trying to make Morrell plant Charlo this fall with Benavidez. So let me speak on that real quick. As far as David Morrell is concerned, there's a question on whether his team is going to actually allow that. So that's number one. Plant is a wait and see. Charlo is a wait and see. They don't seem to. Morrell seems like the most enthusiastic one out of the three in terms of actually wanting to fight. He's made the most definitive statements towards Benavidez, in my opinion. I hope he gets one of those three fights. To be honest with you, if he gets Morrell and he beats Morrell, he gets all credit from me. He gets all credit from me. Charlo's not a natural 168. Plant is Plant, and I think Morrell is one of them dudes at 168 pounds. So if he gets that fight and Benavidez beats Morrell, he gets full kudos for me. So we'll see what happens with that, bro.
Next fight on that I see based on just that and what I'm thinking in my own mind is gonna be Morrell Plant.
He mops Plant. He mops Plant.
All of them do. Benavidez mops him. Even if Charlo comes up, he mops him. So
yeah, I think Plant gets
all of them dudes mop him. So I think just for PBC to try to hopefully sell Morrell down the line to Benavidez, keep Benavidez safe until maybe some iron out with Charlo, maybe something fall through, the Triple G fight don't happen. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but I think that's the scenario. They don't want to kill Benavidez steam and giving them a loss with the, young bull Morrell too early, and then Morrell don't really got the steam in the streets like that. You see what I'm saying? As far as being a true pay-per-view type of guy.
Agreed.
Go ahead, man. I don't hold you up.
No, you good.
This is heavy in the comments today. Shout out to everybody.
Chris G. Benavidez is trying to make a good run at 168, and he said if he was offered a fight at 175 with Bivol, he said he'd take it immediately. Well, that's what we want to hear. You know what I'm saying? If he gets an opportunity at 175 and there ain't nothing cooking at 68, we want to see him take the fight at 75. Boxing Learner in the building. He said, what's going on? What's going on, Boxing Learner? My guy Bruce in the building. He said, salute my brothers, man. Salute to you, man. You're doing a great job on your channel, man. I catch a lot of replays, but you're doing a great job, man. Go subscribe to Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more if you're not already subscribed. Chris G, weight bully doesn't exist. If you can make the weight, you're in that class. Sorry, not sorry. You want to respond to that?
This is why I'm saying. One second, Blunt. This is why I'm saying you can't have one rule for one. We're talking about Charlo fighting Benavidez and Charlo ducking Benavidez, and I agree with it. But we're talking about a dude in Charlo who's never missed a weight at 160, and we're already talking about fighting at 168. But Benavidez, on the other hand, who's missed weight at 168 numerous times, is now what we can't compare him to 175, but Charlo can. That's my point. You have to be consistent with it. If Charlo's being by default moved up to 168, why are we not doing the same with Benavidez?
I think it's different for Charlo. In his situation, it's just about the names. And
so is it with Benavidez, though?
But technically it's not, because there are a few names there. You just probably want to add one more, which we all do as fans and boxing analysts. We kind of get that fringe guy like me with Tagu. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, there's always that sort of thing. But I think it's different. I get your reasoning for Benavidez, and I support that. I understand that. And why wait around for the big fight? Go make the big fight happen. Jump in the deep water. Make a splash. The champions got to see you. The champions, your name is recognizable. So
I mean, a Lemieux fight ain't gonna make no one. A Lemieux fight ain't gonna make no one. Ain't gonna make no one look at Benavidez. Am I freezing? Can you hear me?
No, you good, you good, you good.
I said the Lemieux fight ain't gonna make no one look at Benavidez in a way. Like I didn't have no like additional feelings towards this dude after he beat Lemieux. I was like, okay, he beat Lemieux. I mean, it didn't turn any heads to me.
I can't disagree with that. I think it was just good to see him on film again. You know what I mean? Him get some shine, get some love in this whole town. They do that with they guys. They give them cupcake guys. You know what I mean? Make it real glamorous.
It's a stay busy fight.
It's the same with Canelo and the European tour. Like I just reserved my. I wasn't really impressed. Like it's not that I wasn't impressed that he beat them, but
it
was belts on the line.
It
was belts on the line. But the actual fight,
here too long. Yeah, we don't want to be here with your boy. It's a lot of other dudes busy this weekend, man.
Yeah,
Chris will have us here all day talking Benavidez.
Chris G. Fundora is the king of weight bullies, which he really isn't. Yeah, Fundora, he makes 154 comfortable. He come in sometimes at like 153, 152 and a half.
But see, that's different where Fundora would have to add because his frame is thin. Your boy is tall and thick at the same time. You seen that little belly flap, bro? That's gonna be filled in after the fight. You know what I mean? Wifey gonna be in the kitchen cooking up, so he can carry 175 and his big fights there. Why not do it? Either way, I'm happy with the move. I think 168 is too patient of a route. You see what I'm saying? If you stay at 168, you waiting around. Now they done handed you this interim title. That's supposed to suffice you until you find out what Saul gonna do.
What I would like for Benavidez to do is because he don't have a belt, he should be exploring options at both weight classes.
He has a belt. What you talking about? He got a belt.
He don't have a major belt.
That's an interim title,
which is gonna lead to nowhere because it leads to Canelo. And he's not gonna fight.
It leads to a mandatory. That's what I'm saying.
Which is gonna lead to nothing because Canelo ain't gonna fight him. That's what I'm saying. In any other circumstance, I would agree with you.
I got faith in Saul. He want to rewrite.
You are capping your ass off right now, bro, and you know it. Stop it. Stop it, vlog. Not today. I gave you flowers as soon as the show started. Don't do this to me.
It's gonna bring Benavidez,
bro.
It's gonna bring Benavidez back to where he was before Canelo moved up, which was he won a world title against a nobody. That's basically what's gonna happen. Because Canelo's gonna relinquish, and then they're gonna put Benavidez against anybody other dude, and then he's just gonna beat them, and he's gonna have a world title.
Hey Shane, Benavidez has about 10 different options at 175. He only has 2 at 168. So you go where the options are. You know what I mean? But whichever one offers you the best option at that particular time, that's the one that you take. He's obviously big enough for 175, and he can get down to 168. So I'm like, just don't be sitting around waiting. If you get an opportunity at 175, take it down. If he start turning down fights at 175 and he ain't got nothing cooking at 168, I got a problem. I got a problem with that, especially with what Vlog just said. He has an interim belt, so that's locked in. So there's no reason for him not to go to 175 and go see somebody if they offering the right amount of bread. Man, my guy from the ashes of TikTok, Blaze Philly 215 is in the building. He said, "My bros, what's good? What's good with you, bro? I ain't heard from you in a good minute." Chris G said Benavidez mops Buatsi. I don't know about mop, but that's a good fight, though. That's a real good fight. Boxing learner David Lemieux needs to retire. He can't make 160, but too small for 168. Yeah, he's definitely a tweener for sure. Like, he's definitely a tweener. Chris G, Benavidez makes weight days before the fight. I'm not worried. Chris G is the ultimate Benavidez fan, man. Like, Kiki in the building. Big shout out to Kiki. What's going on?
What does it take to be a Benavidez fan? Because I'm just baffled. This guy hasn't really accomplished much for you to. I don't understand. Like, I'm not a massive Benavidez fan. I said it in the last live. Like, he's a real good fighter, but there's nothing about him that makes me. He fights. You know who I was gonna say he fights like, bro? And this might sound a bit offensive because this dude wasn't a great fighter, but he fights a bit like Mitch Green. Other than, like, you know how he wails and wheels in these punches? He fights a bit like Mitch Green to me. Like, he just wheels in all of these punches, and it's like, I just feel like I can see clear flaws in this individual. I can see clear flaws in this dude. If you got a good enough fighter with a good enough pop, they can beat this dude because he needs a dude to be holding his feet for him to let off those combinations.
Chris G gonna be in your DMs right after the show over, by the way.
I mean, Chris G, I just want to know what about Benavidez you see. I mean, he's a good fighter, but I don't know why you'd be a fan of this dude like that. This guy's accomplished nothing.
Yo, this like Benavidez and Chris G is like beefy the vlog.
Nah, bro.
It is
Because Blunt understands
that's beefy. That beefy. That's his guy though. That's his guy.
Nah, bro.
Guy, but
It's like
I understand my guy's limitations.
Thank you. It's more like Boots. It's more like Boots and Blunt. It's more like Boots and Blunt. That's better. You say Boots and Blunt.
But the thing about Benavidez though,
what do you like? That's come on now.
But that's what I'm saying. But with Benavidez though, yes, there's flaws, but who beats him at 68 though?
Is that down to the fact that 68 isn't a good division?
No,
that's what we're asking.
Who beats him,
I said that earlier. What are y'all talking about?
No, but I agreed with you when you said it, bro.
I
agreed with you when you said it, bro. I agreed with you when you said it.
But
we're talking when you said it.
But he's at 68, right? He's at 68, right?
Okay.
So I just asked who beats him at 68.
I don't see anyone beating this dude at 168.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But that doesn't mean a dude doesn't have flaws.
I didn't say he didn't. I'm just saying you said there's flaws that can be exploited. So I said who beats him at 168 at his current weight class.
Nobody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why we're having. So Chris G, this is why we're having.
But he still hasn't accomplished anything though.
Right, but you're asking them to accomplish something in a division this week that we all agree on, correct?
That's why I'm saying I reserve my praise until I see him accomplish something. I'm not just gonna give you credit because you fought nobodies.
You're pretty consistent with that.
Yeah, bro. It's life, bro. It's the way I'm.
But the thing is though, you know talent when you see it though. You know somebody can fight when you see it. Like your eye test.
I said that, bro.
It's your eye test.
I said that to you. I said this guy's he's a top fighter, and I said he's the best at the weight class. And I even said I feel like he will beat Canelo. He has the ability to beat Canelo. It's just I haven't seen him do it yet, so I'm not gonna give him any credit.
Right, but the thing is, we give people like Andre credit, and they haven't really fought nobody neither. And we love Andre.
But I love Andre as in terms of his fighting style. But at the same time, I don't give Andre credit where I'm talking about Andre in the sense that the way Chris G talks about him, I like his fighting style.
I think they related. I'm just gonna put that out. I think they
the
related.
only thing with Andre is I just feel like he's been unfortunate because dudes abduct him. You can make the same argument with Benavidez. I'm not saying Benavidez isn't a good fighter. I'm just saying I'm not hung up on a dude that isn't proven. You've never heard me put Benavidez, Andrade against anybody in terms of like who I think the best fighter in the sports are. I think Benavidez beats Andrade. I just like his fighting style.
I think so too. Chris G said missed weight numerous times. He missed weight once. Where else has he missed weight? Did I miss a fight?
He missed weight and then had to weigh in again.
So he legit missed weight one time and then another time. I think it was the Gavril fight where he had to weigh in twice?
I can't remember. There was a fight where he weighed in once and he had to weigh in again. I remember.
It's been like 2-3 times where there's been some type of weight issue with Benavidez. Now, whether you end up being actually overweight for a fight, like technically that's something different. I think
it's the same thing with Tank Davis.
It's the same thing with Tank. He has a reputation. Let's put it that way. He has a reputation, even though Benavidez has done a better job in his last 2-3 fights of coming in on weight. So I got to give him credit for that. T. Finney in the building. Big shout out to T. Finney. He said, salute, brothers. Do you guys think Morrell is too green for Benavidez since he only has like 5 fights? Plant doesn't have the power to keep Benavidez off him, but I think he makes it a good fight. Y'all got something for that?
I mean, I don't think he's too green because, I mean, I would say that David Lemieux was a bit over the hill and they still put him in with Benavidez. So what's stopping them putting Morrell in there?
I don't think it's a matter of him being too green. I just think the division is that weak to where Morrell can step right on in and get that opportunity. So
definitely.
You got anything to add to that, Vlog?
Y'all just talking about him being green. His green is his skill. His level of skill does not affect his amount of fights. His level of skill is where it's at. That's going to be the same if he's 17 fights in, 12 fights in. He 5 fights in. The waters ain't deep. He the best competition out there. You got to go based on the skill. You can't say, well, he only had 5 fights. What's the best competition at this division? I wouldn't say he got a name, but I think a lot of the hardcores know who he is. You know what I mean? He got a hype amateur situation. So, and he a Cuban guy, so he has some steam. He has some, he has a base support. So he's definitely going to be a factor in the division. And again, to me, his skill says that it's a compatible fight on paper. We'll have to see what turns out and who chin stands up, whether his movement is good movement, because you got to be able to move to beat Benavidez. You can't move, you're not going to beat Benavidez.
Facts.
Agreed. Jamie Leroy, Buatsi versus Yard. How can you see that one going, boys? That's a good fight. That's a tough fight to call, bro. I off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Buatsi because I think he just does more offensively. Like Yard is kind of hit or miss in terms of his output. Offensively, sometimes he give it to me, sometimes he don't.
I get that, but I feel like Yard's punch power will make a big difference in that fight.
Yard's punch power. Agreed. Let me get this out of the way real quick, Blunt. Do remember this is the same guy that got beat by somebody with just a jab for 12 rounds.
Yeah, so but
sometimes he don't give it to you.
Buatsi's not as disciplined as Lyndon Arthur. Let's keep it real.
Buatsi
is very easy to hit, and he's coming forward. Buatsi ain't fighting off the back foot. He's gonna be right in the wheelhouse, taking them big shots from Yard.
That's a tough fight, man. That's a tough fight to call. I'm gonna say Buatsi, but that's a 50-50 fight, man. As far as I'm concerned. Go ahead, Vlog.
You got to break down what you know from each guy. First of all, the thing you got to beat Buatsi with is to be able to move and hit that 1-2. I ain't known Yard to throw the 1-2 and move like that. So, to me, and Buatsi inside game is way better than Yard's. Yard should have used.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't necessarily agree.
I've never seen things in there that I've seen Buatsi do consistently over at least a 3 to 4 fight span, especially since he got with Virgil.
But he ain't got no defense on the inside. Yard's got a much better defense than Buatsi on the inside. Inside the pocket, I would say he's got a better defense than Buatsi. Okay, I don't see Yard coming out of fights looking like mincemeat, bro. I see Buatsi looking with swollen eyes, sometimes bruises on his face, bro. I don't see that with Yard.
Okay, we got to look at the heavy-handed guys that he's been fighting. He's been fighting some stiff comp. That boy, what's the Russian dude that he just fought before he got this fight? Heavy-handed dude, very heavy-handed dude. So you're gonna get lumped. You're gonna catch some shots, but you got to say his chin is very solid and rank his chin in your top 10 right now. You want to look at chins because he was taking some good shots. But your boy didn't know how to follow up on that. He's not a guy that has the 1-2. Then I got the 3-4, the 5-6. He didn't have it.
I'm just saying, it's dangerous sitting in the pocket with Anthony Yard because not only has Anthony Yard got power, he's physically so much more imposing than Buatsi.
Who got better footwork?
Buatsi got better footwork.
So answer me this. Would footwork affect how you moving inside? Because if you look at the subtle parts of that fight,
no, that's a fact. That is a fact.
Game and work off with that offhand game was killing your boy.
That was amazing because
step around, he hooked that arm and get busy with that offhand.
That was amazing because you can tell he's been working on the tire. Blunt brought up the point of you can see Craig Richards ain't great on the tires. You can tell Buatsi's been working on that tire game because he was circling the whole night on the inside. And that's what you needed, especially with a person who's heavy front-footed. When they're heavy on that front foot, you got to circle them. And Buatsi's done a great job at that. So I agree with Blunt credit on that one.
But you got to credit somebody like a Virgil Hunter on that. This just goes to show that he can train more than one type of dude. Andre Ward is not going to be in a situation where he's circling the dude all the time, digging, even though he knows how to do that. But he's just showing that he has levels to his coach game. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
So
facts.
credit to him for sure. Kiki, I'm here listening and cooking. Are you on the grill? Are you on the grill or you in the kitchen? What are you cooking? I'm hungry. Boxing learner, Benavidez is the youngest super middleweight champion.
That means absolutely nothing to me.
That's a good footnote, but basically Benavidez shouldn't be complaining about opponents if he's opening up his doors to
Let me ask you a
175.
question, boxing learner. If that stat was such an amazing thing, who was the youngest super middleweight champion before Benavidez? I bet you don't know. So that stat ain't that great, is it?
What
If
you
it was
call it? A
significant,
fanboy
you would know
stat?
who was it before him.
It sound like a fanboy stat.
Bro, you see my point? Like, you know when people bring up stats that are only relevant for their fighter, but when you like when people were talking about Tyson Fury, lineal champion, I'm like, bro, what are we talking about, bro? You don't bring it up for any other weight class other than for Tyson Fury. When a stat only favors your fighter, then I know that as a biased stat, bro.
Chris G said Chris Congo is the future of the 147
I never
division.
once said that. I never once said that. I said Chris Congo is the best 147 in the UK, and I could eat crow for that. But I never once said he's a future 147 because I never looked at Chris Congo and thought this dude will be Boots. I never looked at Chris Congo and thought this dude will be Bud or Spence. So I don't know what you're talking. I did not once say that.
I listen, and I said
Can he
at that
beat
time,
Nigel?
Huh? What do you
Can he
say?
beat
come on, Connor.
Yeah.
I
Connor,
still
yeah.
think
Connor.
I still think he
He
gives
said
Conor Ben a
Nigel.
tough fight. I think he
Same
beats.
nigga. Same nigga.
Yeah, I think I think he gives Conor a tough fight. I don't even know if he beats him, but I think he gives him a tough fight.
Yeah, give him a real good fight. Chris G said I love Benavidez for his fighting style. Now, he
There's
definitely
nothing
has
wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
he has an exciting style for sure. Let me see, Chris G. I'm sorry, fellas. Chris G. I know he hasn't done the most in his career, but he hasn't been in a fight where it wasn't fun to watch. Facts,
Right,
100%. Andre Southgate, Benavidez is still young, has a lot of time to achieve good things in
facts.
boxing. Facts as well. He said Yard got some good power in short range. That's what makes that fight with Buatsi so interesting because Yard don't need a lot of space to generate a lot of explosiveness and power. That's what makes that fight with Buatsi so interesting. That's why I think it's kind of like a 50-50 fight, style-wise, to be honest with you. Kiki said,
No, what are you gonna say, Blunt?
go ahead, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, bro.
But what you ain't see that Buatsi jab? You ain't see what Virgil got that boy doing with that jab? And he
Right.
mop your boy. He mop
Nah,
your boy.
but bro, this is the problem. If he was using that jab and he was going backwards and using the lateral movement, I would agree with you because that's the weakness we've seen in Yard with the footwork. We saw Arthur do it, we saw Kovalev do it, but the fact that he's going jabbing to get on the inside the pocket, I just think that's dangerous against Yard. Yard's punch
That's
power
the point.
and his punch
Y'all
variety.
not analyzing Yard from a different perspective. How is he fighting backwards? Can he fight backwards? And
I
to
don't
me,
think Buatsi has the ability to push Yard back. I'm being dead serious.
with the jab coming forward,
Bro,
and
Yard
throwing more
is
for that.
so physically strong. There is nothing pushing that dude back. Kovalev couldn't even push it. Nobody. Bro, Yard is a cruiserweight, right? Walking around. He's a cruiserweight. There is no way Buatsi's pushing Yard back.
Knock him out.
Huh?
Did
Knocking him out,
knock him
coming forward. Coming forward. He was coming forward, bro. He wasn't going backwards.
Okay. But Kovalev jab wasn't in that fight either. Kovalev
No, of course
wasn't
it
really
was.
sticking that jab.
Of course it was,
He-
bro. Of course it was. Bro, he
wasn't-
won that fight purely and simply off a jab.
Again, circling. This is a different jab. This is an offensive jab that I'm talking about. Y'all talking about defensive jab that he had trouble with. I'm talking about a guy coming forward with a shotgun jab that obviously affected Richards a few different times
Facts.
in that. So I'm saying, like, how would Yard deal with that? Would that force him?
I feel
Is
like
his
that
head movement that superior?
that's an advantage for Buatsi 100%. But the problem is Buatsi throws jabs to go on the inside and exchange. That's the problem. It ain't the jab. I think definitely the jab is 100% something that's going to work in his favor because Yard struggles with that. but he throws jabs to get on the inside of the pocket, and that's the problem. Because once you're on the inside exchanging with Yard, you're giving a dude who's physically stronger than you, physically bigger than you, and potentially hits harder than you a chance that I personally feel like he doesn't need to have. That's my argument.
I
As
gotta
far
take
as
that in consideration.
and as far as Buatsi, nothing about Buatsi's style puts him in a hit and not get hit position. Like
That's my point.
he literally his jab is good, right? He goes forward. He's the type of dude he'll charge somebody at the front door to let him in, and he'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna meet you on the front porch. He's that
Fact.
dude.
Yeah.
He's that dude. So even though the jab is good, even though he's coming forward, he's eventually gonna put himself
Meet in the
in
middle.
yards range. He's gonna meet him in the middle. He's gonna meet him in yards range, which is to yards advantage. So it's kind of null and void with him and his footwork because he ultimately doesn't use it to keep himself out of danger. He puts himself in danger.
Okay. I can answer both of y'all state. Who has a proven better chin?
Buatsi.
Thank you.
Does he?
So y'all give him credit.
Does he?
Let me
Does
finish.
he?
I think
Has he been knocked out?
But he got dropped.
Has he been knocked out?
No. Go ahead. No. Let's say no. Okay.
Yeah,
Who has the proven better power?
Probably
Yard. This dude knocked
Buatsi
everybody out in his ring.
Buatsi got better competition.
Agreed.
I mean, you could say that, but then the best form of competition that anybody's fought out of both of them was Kovalev. And that was Yard. And Yard was like 10 seconds away from knocking this dude out if he had a gas tank.
Kovalev he fought, bro. He got beat by old ass Kovalev. That's when Kovalev was in the streets tricking. He was in the streets getting busy and still beat this dude. He was kicking up dust in the streets because that's when all the shit came out eventually. So
yeah, I heard about it when he was hiding in the trees and doing all of that craziness,
that's what I'm saying, bro. He still beat
planes and all of that craziness that he was doing.
Buatsi for those reasons, but we don't want to stick there too long. We got a lot of fights to talk about. So
yeah, keep going through that comments, bro. You only got 3 comments left.
Yeah, Kiki said in the kitchen, roster possible, sausage and shrimp. That sounds good, bro.
That sounds good.
Sound real good. Burt Wood in the building. Big shout out to Burt Wood. Question: Dimitri Bivol versus David Benavidez. Who wins?
That's a tough fight. That's a tough fight,
bro.
Tough fight.
That's a tough fight.
Problem with that is we're gonna see if Benavidez can fight like that for 12 rounds because he's gonna have to.
The thing about that, Burt, which makes that fight so difficult to call. A lot of the openings that Benavidez leaves because he throws so many shots. Bivol's exposing all that.
Facts.
Bivol's exposing all that.
That's
so it's really.
Yeah, I want to back in that. When we've seen him hit, you got to be honest and say he's been hit by smaller guys. If you get hit by a guy that's more in his size range based on weight and just girth, can he take their shots?
Is that the only charge we have?
That's
from Darrell, even Mama's boy got off on him a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a question. That's a question for anybody going up in weight. We got to find out what's what as far as the chin. Chris G, I was told saying that about Congo would mess with Shane. Not too bad though.
Not really.
Yeah, I was gonna say not too bad. Jamie Leroy at Shane, you think Dan Aziz got potential to go far?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Dan Aziz is a fan of the show. We just be having a hard time getting him on here. He be on some other stuff. So I might have to clip this and send it to him. Andre Southgate, that's a hard fight. 50-50 for me. If Buatsi can take Yard's power, he will win. Yard needs a knockout to win.
I think Yard probably does need a knockout to win that.
At least a knockdown. He needs at least a knockdown. I don't think he can win like a clear 12 rounds, no knockdowns, and win a decision against Buatsi. I don't think so. I think he needs at least a knockdown in that fight. But it's so much competition at 175, man. Like they could literally round robin the top 10 guys and literally everybody getting that bag. Everybody getting that paper. Brendan Jackson in the building. Big shout out to you, family. He said Yard beats Buatsi. Too many tools, in my opinion. See, it's I don't know about too many tools, but it's a very close fight, man. It's a very close fight. I think Buatsi got more tools in the toolbox. I think Yard is just physically more gifted than Buatsi is. He got more physical tools, but actual like boxing tools, I would say Buatsi has the better boxing tools. What you think about that, vlog?
You gotta also analyze what's around going on. So I'm giving the trainer and coaches that to Virgil over whoever's messing with Yard out there. That's no disrespect to them, but this is a credited coach, and obviously he's coaching him up because he's getting better and better. He's not taking, like when we talk about power, he's taking shots. He's not a guy that's taking the third and fourth shot. Those are the real killers when it comes to really getting knocked out. A lot of guys, if you're smart, you can absorb that first shot, keep your wits about you until you're able to wear it off, tie up, move around, do all these different things. It's them third and fourth shots that get you out of there. He's a guy that's not taking those, so I'm seeing some ring intelligence and some growth. I can't say I've seen growth in Yard.
So with Yard, always felt like he would have benefited from a different trainer. And I don't have anything against Tunde, but I look at Buatsi, I look at Yard's physical skill set, and there's so many trainers that I think can really maximize Yard.
Who's the first trainer that you have in your head?
Virgil.
I wouldn't have said Virgil.
But think about this though. You see what Virgil did with Buatsi. Mm-hmm. Yard is physically more talented than Buatsi.
I get
Just imagine what Virgil would do with him.
But the thing is, with Virgil, I wouldn't have personally said Virgil. I would have said, because as much as I like Virgil, I've always thought Yard's style should have been more of like a proper pressure, aggressive fighter. So I would have loved to see him with someone like a Teddy Atlas, a Abel Sanchez, someone like that. Jonathan Banks.
You stole this motherfucker out of my mouth, man. He was right here. Shane just walked by and snatched that name out of my mouth, but it's all good. Yeah, Atlas. That's what I'm saying.
Teddy.
Yeah, I think Teddy Atlas, Abel Sanchez. What's it called? Who that was the last?
I think Buddy McGirt to be.
Buddy, yeah, because Buddy likes offensive guys.
Buddy will be a good look for him too.
But again, Buddy also likes dudes. I feel like. Let's remove a Toro Gatti out of it. He likes dudes who also have a decent amount of range with them as well. Like he kind of works with a dude who understands the distance. Why I said Teddy Atlas, and I think me and Blunt were both thinking the same thing, was from a pressure fighter perspective, he'll get his head off the line, he'll get him moving forward, but he'll improve his transitional speed. I feel like Anthony Yard's biggest problem right now is for him to get his big shots off, he has to be flat-footed, firmly on the floor. Teddy Atlas will get him fighting, moving forward, throwing punches, whilst he's still moving forward, landing power punches, moving forward.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with any of them names, to be honest with you. All of them better than Tunde, I'll tell you that much.
Let's do that.
Let's see. Jamie Leroy said Buatsi definitely the better boxer and better footwork than Yard. Yard was too flat-footed in the first Lyndon Arthur fight. It almost seemed like Yard can't move and punch at the same time. Like he can't do both. Like, but I said that about Sean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if Sean's moving, he's moving. If he's punching, he's punching. You're never gonna see him moving and punching at the same time. Like, I feel that way about Yard, but I feel like with the proper training, I feel like he can change that. Chris G. Benavidez beats Bivol right now. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. Because you say what you want about Bivol. Bivol's a natural 175 and been fighting at 175 for a while. You know what I'm saying? It's weight classes for a reason. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't beat Bivol. I'm just saying that's a tough fight, man. A tough fight. Benavidez won't open up like that if he feels it's not safe. But we've never seen that though. You're assuming that. We've never seen Benavidez not open up. You know what I'm saying? We've never seen him not open up, man. Like, so I'm assuming he's gonna do that against everybody. And he does that against Bivol, he gonna have some problems. He gonna have to be selective with that work. You know what I'm saying? Shane has some technical difficulties, but I'm gonna see because I want him to get back in here because I actually want him to announce what he heard as far as the Canelo situation and his moves going forward.
Oh, I can tell you that.
Give it to me.
They talking about going ahead with the Triple G fight since it's technically was pre-contracted, but he wants to revisit Bivol right after that.
Okay, so that's the news.
Yeah, but my thing is, why is no hype about him fighting the middleweight? Why is that not such a big deal?
That he's fighting a middleweight.
Yeah, unified middleweight champ. He's fighting a unified middleweight champ. Why is that not a big deal? But all of a sudden it was a big deal if Charlo got, as Charlo would, come up and possibly get that date.
I just think I think part of the reason is just, and this is not my reason, but I think part of the reason is just Triple G name just been so ice cold in these boxing streets for a long time that I think people just are looking past it on purpose. I think people are really just looking past it on purpose. Me personally, I don't look past it, and people think that it's like an automatic victory for Canelo. I might based off of how he looked in his last fight, and based how he looked in his last fight and the history with Triple G, I feel Triple G beating both times. So, and almost everybody had it at least tied 1-1. So, is it a fight everybody wants to see? No, but is it a legit fight in terms of competition? Yeah, yeah.
No,
Like,
it can't be, bro. Then he might as well fight. He might as well fight Charlo. That's a middleweight champ.
Right, but what I'm saying is that fight not competitive?
Not to me. If you talking there's weight classes for a reason. If you say
But,
you just
go, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you just talked about Benavidez and Bivol. You said there's weight classes for a reason.
Correct.
Why is that not the same for super middleweight champ fighting the middleweight champ? Is there some difference? And it's not like it's not like Triple G's a big guy. So it's easy for him to say, yeah, put on that 8 pounds, box. He boxed excellent against Murata. So
right. Well, I'll say this. It's for me. It's this one's kind of isolated for a couple of reasons. Number one, they've already fought twice. That's number one. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. Let me cook up. So they fought twice already. How did you have it? 1-1 or 2-0? Triple G. You had it 1-1?
1-1.
You had it 1-1. All right. So we had it 1-1, right? Is Canelo the biggest 168?
No, but he's a solid 168. He showed that fighting other 168 guys.
So he's a solid 168. So the reason why I say the fight with Triple G and Canelo, even though I don't want to see it, it's the competitive fight for Canelo because we're going with recent events. We like to go with recent events. Recent events shows us, and I'm going by your words, his last 4 fights, he has not looked good.
I'm not saying, bro, I'm not saying the fight on as far as the contracts and the way they set up and them the 2 quote unquote biggest stars on that platform to get their money out of each guy. These dudes need to fight each other. Okay, I get that. But my thing is, us as fans, we got to analyze that. We got to say, yo, this is already quote unquote after fight excuses. What people, a lot of people say excuses. No, it's not an excuse. It's a fact before the fight even goes down.
But the reason I'm entertaining it, bro, is because you can't say Canelo should entertain Charlo. And I'm not saying you. I'm talking about people in general, not you. I want to make that clear. People want Canelo to entertain Jamal Charlo, right? He's naturally an underweight dude. They wanted for Canelo to entertain Spence at 164 pounds. People wanted to entertain that. They wanted for Canelo to
Can I
entertain
tell
that.
you why though? Can I
Go
tell
ahead.
you why?
Go ahead.
Because he doesn't fight a lot of black fighters. I think that's the main reason.
But
Because there's other black fighters who fight and beat up.
But he's faced like 6 of them though. So that's not even
not top level black fighters. He hasn't.
He fought Laura. He fought Trout.
Laura's not a top. Laura's Latino.
Laura was a top. He's considered a black fighter. He's a
Laura's
top 5.
Latino.
He's a Cuban.
That's Latino.
But he was a top 5 dude though.
All right.
And Trout was coming off the Cotto win.
Trout.
I mean, Austin Trout was coming off the Cotto win.
Come on, bro. Don't give me Trout, bro.
But is what I said not facts though? Is what I said not facts?
That's again, I'm going back to my word top level.
But okay, so you want to say that's black fighters? That's cool, but they're black and they're smaller fighters. That's a fact. They're smaller fighters.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, so
I don't agree with the Spence thing. So you want to hold?
No, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying that's why I said that. That's why I said that prior. I said I'm not talking about you in particular. I'm saying people. They wanted for him to take the PBC deal because he was going to fight Spence at 164 pounds. So he's clearly a smaller fighter. He was going to fight Jamal Charlo at 168, and Jamal Charlo is going to be clearly a smaller fighter. So Canelo's name has been entertained with smaller fighters recently.
You can't really say Mel would be the smaller fighter.
Bro, we can't have it both ways though.
No, I say this because his frame, he has the frame that could carry that. Now, if you talk about a smaller guy just trying to muscle up to another weight, there could be, some hiccups in that. But when you talking about a guy who's naturally tall, already muscular, so him putting on a little bit more muscle and some mass is not too much of a detriment to his natural boxing style.
Okay, so I'll take this. No, I feel you.
So I'll take that. Let me finish. I equate that different. Now imagine you want Triple G to muscle up. That's what we want out of Triple G. Muscle up, get your weight up, and still box the same though.
But you're making that claim for Triple G, but Triple G is bigger than Charlo. His frame is bigger than Charlo's.
Based on what? Not height.
Bro, his frame is bigger than Charlo's. It's bigger than Charlo's.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying, like, so we gotta play, like, if we can't put Triple G on a whole nother side of the street than Charlo and them, because it's the same thing. They're both at the same weight right now. So if they fought Canelo, both of them are moving up in weight, right? Again, so we're entertaining dudes in smaller weights.
Yeah, we're entertaining, and again, this is the only way. So again, after he do this, if he fights, what's the name? Bivol will be an idiot to go after that because they ain't even really got all their money. That's still out there in these boxing streets that he ain't got fully paid.
Yeah, I do believe he didn't get fully paid. I think the reason why they're saying he didn't get fully paid is nonsense. I think it's really nonsense. But that man need to get it. If he don't have all this money, and I don't know all the facts, if he don't have all his money, Eddie Hearn, that's your fighter. Make sure your man get paid. I'm gonna leave it at that because we'll be going down a rabbit hole, talking about that. But yeah, I just Canelo look like food right now, as far as I'm concerned. There's a bunch of dudes that I think.
I've been saying that, bro.
But that's my point, though. Bro, but that's my point, though. Like, I'm going off of what you said. We've been saying for a while Canelo been looking like food. So I can't sit up here and say that a Triple G fight is easy work or it's not going to be competitive because he's been looking like trash. For no other reason, not forget the weight and everything else, he's been looking like trash.
Let me put this out there. This is a 40-year-old dude, probably going to be closer to 41 if that fight happened this year. So I'm just saying. Saying.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
and you want this old dude to put on weight.
Right, but see, here's my thing though. Like,
you know what happened with old dudes when they put on weight? they get sluggish.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. But here's the thing, though. This is what I'm saying. Like, we can't say Canelo's been looking like trash the last 4 fights, and then we're turning around saying he completely mops a dude. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I've never
he
seen
not
that.
mopping nobody.
Really, yeah, we gotta get people to see. Okay, there's give and take. There's this, that, and the third with this fight that necessarily don't got nothing to do with styles. It just got something to do with what we know is fact. We know for a fact that Canelo has not been, I guess, this pound for pound guy for, in my estimation, at least since the Caleb Plant fight, maybe before that. But you fighting European guys that didn't really push you and show any weaknesses. But again, Canelo's gotten older too, so it's gonna happen, bro. Neither one of these dudes. I don't even think that fight gonna be that entertaining, to be honest.
I don't like, and the thing is, we're all in agreement
on Bivol.
Yeah. Say it again.
So where's his ring IQ at right now?
Who?
He couldn't set up an opening. His coach couldn't coach him to an opening. They could not do anything to be successful against Bivol.
So
even when Bivol backed up and gave him his back against the ropes.
But Canelo was a limited cash cow. Like, we all knew that for years. He's a limited cash cow. He's not a dude you can put up against any and everybody. I think he's willing to fight a lot of people, but he's not equipped to fight just anybody. Like, his style is not equipped for that. So, yeah, like, it's just certain things he can't do in the ring. Like, he can't fight off the back foot. He really don't use a jab. Anybody that gives him movement or puts him on his back foot, he's in trouble. Like, it's the blueprint's out on, like, Canelo. To me, Canelo has like 5-6 losses in his career. So this ain't about some close to an undefeated fighter in my book.
To me, this what Bivol did smart, and what Callum Smith didn't do. He didn't punch right after feeling Canelo land protected shots. So Canelo throws combinations. Obviously, all his shots are not going to be open. When he landed on the gloves and on the arms and shoulder of Bivol, Bivol was firing that same arm and landing on Canelo. So it wasn't just counter punching. It was when he started counter punching. And they showed he hadn't done that. I've seen some who broke that down, but big shout out to them off the gram. How he hadn't something that's coaches in them obviously worked. So big shout out to Bivol trainers and his coaching staff, because they showed him actually in past waiting for people to finish combination and then firing quick. You know what I mean? Backing people up or firing first to keep people like the last Russian that fought, keeping them defensive. He kept firing first, shooting that 1-2, throwing a little hook to the body, keeping dude defensive, and then Bivol would move. In this fight, he just waited for Canelo to land, and he reacted before Canelo could get anything home, because, again, he's not the greatest guy defensively. We haven't seen that guy since, again, I keep going back to the Danny Jacobs fight, where we saw head movement. We saw his hands coming back home. Danny just couldn't really land clean and consistent. Bivol was countering his shots at the perfect time. So it just not the accountability, is how he got coached up to do it at the right time. As soon as you feel that shot, shoot your shot, whether it's a straight. And he was throwing that straight off the rope several times. And that was backing Canelo up. Then he got back to his jab and throwing combinations. He killed Canelo. That was a mopping.
Yeah, and that's why with Canelo, I think any fight that he gets into at this point going forward, like, you really got to question how good he's going to do in the fight. Like, to me, he's a big name, of course, but in fight, you can see he's regressing. He's regressing inside of the ring. And I think even for Canelo fans, I think you got to admit, over the past 2 years or so, he has regressed in terms of his actual performances inside the ring. Now, you can point at whatever the reason. You can come up with whatever reason you want, but he's regressed.
I'll give you one reason. Too much fucking training. Too much training.
I'm not going to say I disagree with that. I'm not going to say I disagree with that. I will go with it's too much weight jumping. Too much weight jumping over the past couple years, which equates to different types of training. So if you're training to go up, that your level of training is different than if you're coming back down from a weight you wasn't supposed to be at. I
Yeah,
just think he's been doing
it's
too much jumping. Yeah, he's been doing too much jumping. So I do
and that
agree with
affects
that.
what style you can use.
Yeah, yeah, facts, facts. But that's why we've been saying Canelo, pick a weight and just stay there. It's weight classes for a reason. Pick a weight, stay there, and whatever happens, happens. Chris G, first 1-2 rounds, he doesn't open up. He caught Lemieux early. But the thing is, Chris is Benavidez catches most of his guys early. Like that's what makes him who he is. Like he usually gets the upper hand very early. He's one of the quickest. He's one of the best fighters in the world at starting early. First 4 rounds, he is dynamic. First 4 rounds, like he's dynamic. First 4 rounds, you know what I'm saying? So we're not taking that away from him at all. Brendan Jackson Yard is a better boxer than Buatsi. I do not believe that. No, he's not a better boxer than Buatsi. What you think, Glock?
I'm not gonna argue with Brendan Jackson. He obviously is a fan of Yard. We'll let that gentleman be a fan of Yard. I'll bet him when I get things cracking with that little thing we working on. Man. Oh yeah, we can definitely put some money on something.
Yeah, Brendan Jackson. There were some spots where I thought if Richards put some shots together well, whenever he managed to buzz Buatsi, he could seriously hurt him. Yard will be much greater problem. So Brendan, the reason why Craig Richards never could follow up is because you need your feet to put you in position to follow up, and his feet is bad. His feet is bad. He would get Buatsi in a bad spot, but a lot of times you got to make that full step and a half, put you in a position so you can follow up with the proper shots. He wasn't putting himself in position in terms of the footwork to get him to that point to where he's throwing the proper shots. He would get home with the second shot, but you need to put yourself in a good position to where that fourth and that fifth shot gonna hit home. He never put himself in that position because his feet so bad. His feet are slow. You know what I'm saying? Like he just couldn't get to the target consistently. Burtwood vlog, I heard Rolly will not give Tank rematch. Rolly moving up to 140 and take over. I if Tank goes 6 rounds with this dude, I would be disappointed. Like Tank should really get this dude up out of here.
I'm gonna say this. This young dude is tough, bro.
He is.
Rolly, Tank gotta be. You remember how defensive sound he was against Cruz? Mm-hmm. I need that same Tank. And with Cruz is also a defensively sound person based on how he runs his offense. He runs a curled offense, meaning he throws from a very protected base. You know what I'm saying? So his offense made it hard for Tank to really look clean and really get that money shot off based on how defensively sound Cruz is. Not because he's, this swift guy defensively, but the way his offense is. Tyson-esque, that natural sort of bob and weave, keep you off the line, but it's heavy shots coming. So now you can't be real precise and answer my position because here comes something over the top. And you can't really be cute with your shots, like trying to aim on me and be real precise. So it's a defensive style that's offensive. So I think Rolly poses that to a certain extent, maybe not with the defensive side, but his offense poses a defensive issue for Tank. So he has to be aware, but I do think he could be more accurate in turning some of the power.
So I'm going to add on. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, my bad, bro. Your video went out for just a second. I'm just gonna follow up on what Vlog said. Because of Rolly's style, Tank should have a lot more openings offensively than he did against Cruz. Rolly is a lot taller than Cruz, so is this a bigger target, more to hit? Rolly's not going to get low on shots, so he should pretty much be right there. But what Vlog said is absolutely true. You have to be defensively sound first. You gotta, you have to establish the jab in this fight. You gotta keep your cool, and you gotta make him pay. You gotta make him pay for any dumbass shot that he throws. I feel like if Tank does those things, I think Tank should offensively he should have an easy night if he does those things. I really think he should have an easy night, but he has to be defensively sound, defensively responsible. Has to, because he don't want to get hit by Rolly. Rolly can punch. Rolly can punch. Like Rolly got cracks. Andre Southgate, there's a lot of top guys that Canelo was going to have trouble with. He's a flawed cash cow. Like he's going to have a problem with a lot of dudes. And we're not saying Canelo's not a good fighter. He's a good fighter. It's just his style is not equipped to fight any and everybody. You know what I'm saying? King Louis, my God, King Louis in the building. Big shout out to King Louis. He said, salute fans. Salute to you, good brother. He said Tank is a blooper. He said Rolly had zero chance. I think Tank should have an easy time. I think it's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be an entertaining ass whooping. Like this, in my opinion.
That's the thing, Lou. We do believe Tank is the superior boxer, but being superior doesn't mean be reckless. That's all I'm trying to point out when I talk about how sound he was defensively. His movement, reading the shots and anticipating them heavy shots coming from Cruz. Perfect. He needs to do the same thing, but what's different, he's able to really counter with a 1-2, maybe follow up with a 3 before something heavy comes back, and maybe he done did the damage he needs to do, so there won't be nothing heavy coming back. We know your boy is subject because he got hit by a very quick guy in Jackson Marinas that don't have nowhere near Tank's power. So yeah. I do believe, but that's what I'm saying. You still got to be careful because Rolly got cracks. We can't deny that the young dude ain't hitting hard.
Definitely hitting hard. Like and we haven't seen Tank take a shot neither. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not by a physically strong dude. So we gotta see if that happens as well. Jamie Leroy, he said, who hits harder, Tank or Ryan Garcia? Tank. That's the easy one. Tank.
Ryan Garcia, his power is subject to how fast his punches coming.
Yeah.
I think Tank's slower punches still heavy.
Yeah. Agreed. King Louis said, I feel you. Yeah, man, like that's gonna be a really interesting fight. But it's gonna be an entertaining fight because Rolly just Tank is very accurate, in my opinion, for a power puncher. A lot of times power punchers they get a little erratic, but he's one of the more accurate power guys you're gonna find in the game. So that's why I really want for him to be defensively responsible, especially first 2 rounds of the fight. A guy like Rolly, you got to let him know early that he's out of his league. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I feel like Jackson Marinas did that first half of the fight. He let Rolly know, like, yo, like, you ain't supposed to be in the ring with me. He just ain't get the decision. You know what I'm saying? But Jackson Marinas was like, yo, like, you not on my level. And that's how he approached every single round. But I feel like if Tank does the same thing, I think it'll be just a smooth fight. You know, for Tank, but people gonna tune in just to see Rolly get knocked smooth out. People can't stand Rolly. Like, you know what I mean? They can't stand his guts. Said King Louis said Rolly ain't landed solid. That's what we gotta find out, man. That's what we gotta find out. I'm just saying, if he does, what does Tank do with that shot, though? Does he take it? I'm just surprised they've been in the same camp for so many years and never sparred. I mean, we explained that in the previous show. Like, Floyd probably was like, no, you know, but it's still kind of like an amazing thing. Burt Wood, G5, one show. Could you walk us fans through process? You signed to fight, you trained for 8 weeks. When and why do you pick that sparring partner you do? I can explain that right now. So basically, if it's no funny business going on, you should know when you're fighting. We're talking a major fight, championship fights. You should know at least, Vlog, we saying at least what, 2.5 months in advance. 2 to 3 months in advance, you should know about your major fight. So what you do is you want to get sparring partners based off of your number one, your opponent's physical attributes, and then number two, his boxing style. If you can get them both in the same sparring partner, that's great. But if you have to get one dude because it mimics the opponent's size, then you get him. If you get a dude that really don't mimic the size that much, but it's like a really similar style, then you get that dude. That's why you have like a chief sparring partner, and then you have like 3 or 4 other guys in the camp. Go ahead, bro.
What plays a very big part in what Jeff was saying? Cost. Cost to get the right guy is a big part of everything Jeff was saying. Everything he said is correct, but cost, time.
Yeah. And I'll give you a prime example. So when Erickson Lubin was this is before the Fundora fight, when he was gonna fight what was his fight before that, bro?
He fought out there in Reading, didn't he? On that card you went to?
That was a while ago, though. Yeah, that was a while ago, though. I'm talking. Oh, Rosario. So for the Rosario card,
he fought Rosario.
Yeah, he fought Rosario and beat him. Yeah. So
that's after Mel stopped him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, okay. I did see Rosario had a comeback fight on the gram. I didn't know against your boy. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Bert. So take this as an example. Erickson Lubin was looking for Toriano Johnson to actually be his chief sparring partner for that fight. Now, you would think with Toriano's style that he's active like a Fundora is, but his size is nowhere near Fundora's. You see what I'm saying? So that Toriano will be a prime example for Erickson Lubin of a person that has a style like Fundora, but he doesn't have the physical attributes. So that's why you have multiple guys in your camp. But again, if you can get it all in one guy, that's less that you got to pay out, and cost is a thing. Cost is a thing, especially when you're not a top-notch dude. You're paying a lot of stuff out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, your gym that you in, a lot of these gyms, they so big, they got in-house dudes. You just be like, yo, give me 3 rounds. Give me 3. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they just regular dudes in the gym. So it really depends on the level, how much money you got behind you, and how much are you willing to put into your camp. If you're willing to put a lot of money into your camp, you could possibly have 3, 4 main dudes that you sparring with. You know what I mean? But if your pockets is kind of light, you might only be sparring with 1 or 2 dudes. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends. Money has a lot to do with how you play that situation, Bert. I'll put it to you like this before we move on. Like Dillian White, we heard that Dillian White had all short sparring partners against Tyson Fury. That's dumb. You're going into a Tyson Fury fight, you get tall sparring partners. You don't spar Alan Babbage for a Tyson Fury fight. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what he did. So that's a prime example of horrible picks in terms of sparring partners going into a major fight. King Louis says, smash that like button. I agree with King Louis 100%, man. Smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? Definitely smash that like button. What else do we have to big shout out to Jermaine Ortiz for beating Jamel Herring. And I talked to Shane about this off camera, and you really gotta ask Jamel, of course, it's not the end of his career in terms of like he's physically.
He already retired.
Like, he retired? Really?
Yeah, he already posted it, bro. You don't be in these boxing streets like that. You out there gambling and doing all that balling this weekend, then hit your boys back, check on me, nothing like that. But I'm in these streets, and your boy retired. I said it in the 8th round. The young boy is too fast for him. He can't deal with speed fighters. That's what's on the market right now. Ain't a bunch of slow, Comey type of guys out there. So ain't no reason to press it, man. 130 deep waters, 135 even deeper. He did the right thing. Salute to the vet, you know what I mean? He grabbed the title, you know what I mean? So a lot of fighters can't say they did that. So he accomplished a great goal in boxing. And he was a solid dude. He wasn't one of them dudes who was out here doing that shifty shit in the streets and, all this, worry about what he got in the system before fights. Clean dude, clean life, family guy. Big salute to him, man. And he got a
Yeah,
bag fucking with Top Rank, I'm sure. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Big shout out to Jamel Herring, man. Like it's I know we was talking about trainers and stuff like because a lot of people don't really hold Bomac in a real like high regard. You got to remember he
He
took
switched. Yeah, this is his first fight
yeah
switching
this is
from
his
him.
first yeah it's his first fight switching from him, but I think Bomac is a really good trainer because he took two dudes to world titles that shouldn't have had world titles. Like Jamel, you watch Jamel Herring, you don't watch Jamel Herring and be like, yo, that's a future world champion.
Yeah,
You
he
look at
take a
a
lot of shots.
you look at a Maurice Hooker. You don't look at a Maurice Hooker and be like, that's a future world champion. Like he took two dudes to world championships that weren't supposed to be there. On top of what he's done with Bud. So, you gotta throw Bomac in the mix. I know a lot of people don't like him. But you gotta throw Bomac in the mix, man. He does good work. Andre Southgate Herring is retired. Yeah, I didn't know, bro. I'm not in these boxing streets like Vlog said, man. So I go to Vlog for a lot of my in-street analysis. You know what I'm saying? But congrats to him, man. And he going home with a bag, going with all his faculties, and going home to his family. Did his military work and all of that, man. Successful career. Big shout out to Jamel Herring. And big shout out to Jermaine Ortiz too, man. He's fighting real solid competition. He fought Adorno, he fought Jamel Herring.
And this was at
He fought at
135.
135. He fought my man Pretty Boy Wu out of the RDR camp the fight before that. So I mean, he's fighting solid competition. This is how you build your fighters. So he's in line for a solid opportunity. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind seeing him with a maybe a maybe give him a step up fight, maybe like a Linares or something. Give him a name, get that kid an opportunity.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this quick. He might not be the most fan friendly as in the style that he put forth. Now maybe he was just using that because he fighting Jamel Herring and he just wanted to be cautious, fighting a true vet that could be slick and crafty and a little bit shifty. So
Right.
he was kind of like in and out. His normal pace of, if you watch his previous fights, he's a real volume guy. He likes to get in, get off real hard shots, step off to the side. This one he was kind of in and out, using the jab a little bit more in this fight. So it wasn't as fan friendly of a fight I could say it was. And it honestly wasn't a fight I think that Jamel Herring should have retired off of. He didn't get his ass beat like that.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be back though. That's why I was surprised you said he retired.
He
I
said
think
he
gonna be
put
back.
that out. That's off of his gram. That ain't nobody
Yeah,
reading
I'm
into
with you.
it. He put that out.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be back though. I don't believe any dude that responds like a day after a fight, day or two after a fight. Them dudes still emotional and shit. I think he's gonna be back, man. Burt Wood says so. It's not like Rocky movie. Clubber Lang doing pull-ups with plumbing pipes, Rocky partying with the girls. Listen, man. There's been plenty of stories about dudes doing things in camp that they ain't supposed to be doing. Now, we're not going to expose anybody, but Vlog and I could probably give you about a good 20 to 30 stories where guys are doing a lot of, shifty things during camp and they ain't supposed to be. And that's throughout boxing history. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
think that has to do a lot with the competition too. You got, what I mean, especially if these are big name guys that are known for the entourage scene and the hotel scene on the balcony and just the limelight sort of fighters. I'm sure they've had their camps where it wasn't the tightest ship being run, and you know what I mean. It's not in front of cameras. It's off, out of the scenery, so to speak. Yeah, I'm sure they wasn't running perfect camps, eating right, and all of that. Sometimes it
yeah,
shows up in the ring, and then sometimes it don't, because they're
yeah.
so good at boxers.
I mean, and you can have real solid dudes in your camp, but your fighter just wild. Take Broner for example. Broner always had solid dudes in his camp. Stafford, Barry Hunter. He had Kevin Cunningham at one point. He had disciplinarians in his camp. But the problem is he's not disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Like it's well known before the Pacquiao fight, he was at a party. He was at a party with Floyd. all the way fucked up. That's a fact. That was right before the Pacquiao fight. So it's just it's levels to professionalism, like you know what I mean. And when you're not professional, eventually it's gonna come back to get you. Even if you're talented enough to get away with it, it's only temporarily. It's only temporarily. Like that lack of hard work is gonna come back to bite you on your ass at some point, and that happens to every fighter, no matter how good that fighter is, man. Andre Southgate, Burt Wood laughing. Question, Burt Wood question during fight. What round does corner change plans of a fight or adjust? Now that's a very standard question. And there's not one solid answer to that. So I'll give you an example. Um, Number one, a trainer has to be honest with who they have as a fighter, their skill set, their deficiencies, things like that. I'm really big on a trainer giving his guys instructions based off of what he can actually do. Don't tell your fighter to do something and you know damn well he ain't talented enough or skilled enough or physically able to do it. So a trainer has to be honest with what they have with their fighter. That's number one. And number two is kind of a feel thing. The great fighters, the great trainers, they can tell early, be like, yo, like I know we said we was gonna pump that jab, we're gonna go a little different. I think you can get that right hand over the top. So it's a progression thing. It's a progression thing that goes from round to round. It's not a certain round or a certain time that it happens. It's a trainer literally talking his way through the fight as he's seeing it. So that's what the great trainers do. You want to add on to that, Flo?
I think, if he want to really base it down to a time, a trainer with an excellent eye to me can estimate and gauge things within 3 and say, okay, our front foot game that we planned on ain't as effective, so maybe let's just make the fight come to us. Let's try something different. You know what I mean? Let's go to, like I said, go to the back foot. Maybe let's try to double up on getting closer faster. Instead of trying to jab and time our jab, just double jab at the space, get in, go to work. There are different ways you can switch a fight up, but I would say at least 3. You know what I mean? If you really want to just niche it down to a time point, if you can't figure things out in 3, then just get a fight to the other guy. You know what I mean?
I agree. I would say the first quarter, if you want to put a time on it, first quarter of the fight, if it's a 12-round fight. First 4 rounds. If it's a 10-round fight, the first three, like you should pretty much have things figured out at that point in terms of what is going to be, what you think is going to be successful and what's not. You should definitely be able to identify what's not being successful after the first 3 rounds. Like that's for sure. Said these judges need to adjust their mindset also during the fight. So now we can get into the politics and all of that all day long about judges and just judges are trash, this, that, and the third. To be honest with you, and this goes on in sports, period. They always have older people like judging. Like it's just they have older people judging, and I'm like, just their vision is not. They're not as sharp as a younger mind. Like I feel like the judges be like 80, 90 years old. And I'm like, you expected for them to keep up.
No. My thing, I'm going to take it a little bit further. I put them fools up from Showtime. Again, I keep showing everybody these quote-unquote great boxing minds. But as soon as I saw the pic on the screen, that goddamn Stephen A. Smith video came to mind. And I'm like, these motherfuckers ain't never been punched in the face, ain't never had a physical contest, so to speak, whereas though you kind of got an inside mindset. You know you've been in an aggressive moment. You've been in a clash. You know people react or how things might be able to go. These guys are third eye over years trying to say that this is why we're the these boxing analysts that get paid these top dollars. But to me, it's more people. To me, in my understanding, if you've been in some scraps and you know what it is to maybe get in the gym, tape it up, hit that bag, get 2-3 rounds of sparring in, you might be somebody that's more tuned to the sport than somebody that hasn't been through that, or at least been punched in the fucking face. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't never been punched in the face, how can you tell me how not to be punched in the face? Or what a clean shot to the face is?
And to add on to that, you got people, you got some people that just they got bright boxing minds, but they just can't fucking judge a fight. They literally just can't score a fight. They don't have a skill set to do so. It's been plenty of times. Tim Bradley has had trash cards. Andre Ward has had trash cards. Like it's just, some people just don't have the ability to score fights, and they can know everything about boxing through and through, but people get that wrong like all the time. So I do think the judges, me personally, I think the judges, a lot of the judges are just too old. Like when you like in your 70s and 80s and shit like that, like just you want to have a younger, fresher mind while actually watching the fight. Like it's just, to me, it's crazy. Like if you remember like the old a vlog, remember the old HBO fights? You like they'll show the three judges. You ain't know if you was seeing judges or you was seeing people at the Social Security office.
Man,
like it was a lineup for the Social Security office.
Yeah, I'm like, man, is that the deacon board right there?
Right, right. They look like old church deacons. So like it was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I do think that's something that needs to be improved upon. To be honest with you, I'm like, I've watched fights ringside and I've watched fights on TV. I prefer watching fights on TV because you just get a better overall view. But I've watched fights ringside and then I've gone home and like judged the fights like on TV, and my scorecards has been pretty much the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, just not everybody is skilled to do it. To be honest with you, I think we just need more people. I think we need more qualified people trying to be judges. You know what I'm saying? I know it's politics in it and all that, but it's just, if I ain't feel like my life was gonna be on the line, I travel the country and judge fights. Shoot, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you offering me a bag, like, I definitely do it. But
I mean, one thing we got to remember about judging, and this is just human nature, it always goes to what style you like. Because I said that talking to was Will Stokes on the gram about the Davis Jr. Molina fight. It was it was good fighting on both sides. It's, to me, what what style did the judges like more? I think they obviously linked with the Homer style. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say he was quote unquote the house fighter, because Molina has been on that DAZN platform too, even as an American Latin fighter. But I think I like Davies being an aggressor. I thought he made the fight. He made Molina fight the way Molina fought. Not that he fought bad. I thought Molina, what he did wouldn't have been good on the front foot. It wouldn't have been effective. So he was forced to fight off the back foot. He was effective, but not enough to keep dude from coming forward. So how good was it then?
Yeah. It's so many elements of that, bro. There's so many elements just to judge in, and they have the 5 criterias, but it really comes down to a judge and what they particularly like. You got some judges that like the boxers. You got some guys that.
I'm gonna add this real quick. That's why I think it should be known what style judge is judging your fight. That way there's a balance. They want to give a balance to judges from regions and things like that. Why not make that part of it? What is this judge known for? That way we as a boxing, management team and, or your fight team and all that, they can kind of have some say so in that as far as the commissions and the guys that actually make these picks. I think they should be able to have some say so in that.
Well, to be honest with you, bro, like that comes down to your team. That comes down to your team, and I agree 100%. That comes down to your team and them doing the proper homework that they have to do going into a fight. Like, you have to know who the judges are. So if you know your guy is a come forward fighter and a brawler, but one of the judges is more susceptible to the boxer, the clean boxer type style, I don't want that person judging my guy's fight. You know what I'm saying?
Give me a balance.
Or at least give me a balance. Like, at least give me a balance. But that's all a part of the game within the game. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? That's all the game within the game. Burt Wood vlog, let's look back. Mike Tyson liked the party, but you have tripled your bet on Buster Douglas, Japan versus Tyson. I don't think anybody
First
did.
of all, I'm gonna say yes because I knew the one thing Tyson wanted to avoid was accurate jabbers. That's why they paid Lennox Lewis that step aside, quote unquote, money that I don't know if people honestly spoke on it yet and said it happened, but from my time, it was supposed to be like $2 million that they gave Lennox Lewis to step aside. Why? And then the number one reason wasn't his power. It was because of that fucking jab. And then they went and found the guy that had a jab who they didn't believe in his power. So they thought Mike would have been able to just avoid the jab and there would never been that clean right hand coming behind it. But, Buster fooled him. So, you know what I'm saying? But again, yeah, they slept on Mike. I would have put, I was a youngster, but if I had the boxing mindset I got now, oh shit, yeah. I'm putting a motherfucking double bag on, got triple bag on Buster. You know what I mean? So again, it's just you got to know some of these subtle things, and if you can get a peek into these camps, it's always a good thing. We do that now because we got social media, and we get to see some of these training clips, and where these guys may be traveling to, and then we can see them doing all these interview circuits. So they do that a lot more now than they did back then. So that's a lot of work. So we actually get to see conditioning, whether guys looking fat, slow, whatever.
Yeah. No, it's a fact. Said when did they stop the ref from scoring fights? That's been out for a while. That's been out for a while. Now I know.
You know why? You know why? It's hard to judge while you're also trying to be a disciplinary.
Yeah, they stopped that a long time ago.
Yeah, that's probably got to be the main reason.
But I will say this though, there are
refs can be way paid off. Judges are not is now so lonely. My bad, Jeff.
No, you good. You good. No, and referees also double down as judges in other fights, so they do more than just refereeing. So, but actual referee in fight judging, like it's just not like that's not gonna work. Fight or Die boxing. Big shout out to Fight or Die. He said, "There's no way we knew Tyson would lose, bro." The thing is, bro, at that particular time, nobody really bet on Buster Douglas. Nobody really bet on him. To keep it a bean, nobody really bet on him.
Somebody bet on that motherfucker.
It was
they just didn't get it announced. Because look, there's a thing called being a professional gambler, and professional gamblers make bets like that just because it makes sense money wise. If I got $10,000, I was gonna buy some shoes with. Yeah, I'll go put it on Buster. Came back 47, 48,000. Yeah, professional gamblers do that.
I'd have put $5 on that nigga. I ain't gonna front. I'd have put $5 on.
I'm just saying we have that realm in
nobody. A Fight or Die, like nobody would have put no heavy bag on Douglas. We can all agree on that,
except for the professionals. That's all I can say. We've always had professional gamblers in this country.
I don't know if they'd have took that though, but not no major bread though. Only person that would have put, if I would have known, I put you like this. If I had the insight in that fight like I do other fights, and I would have known, the most I probably would have put on that is probably like $50. And that's just me being dead honest, because I'm like, even with everything against Mike, I think he's still.
I'm a unit better, so yeah, I would easily say I would put 100 on it if I have the boxing mind I currently have. I've always been, this boxing dude, but I ain't. Obviously, you get older, you're smarter, you experience. LOX, baby, you feel me? You know what I mean? So anyway, that means living off your experience. So for y'all squares, point being, I would have. Right now, I put 100 on somebody I know has physical tools that can get them through a certain style. Because that's what boxing is about. It's like human chess. What style trumps another style? Can these people boxing IQ give them, say, okay, this is not working. Now, do I have the skills to be able to switch up and do something different? That's what makes boxing, boxing first, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Boxing first.
Said it was a 42 to $1, $5 would have got you something. See, that's what I'm saying. I definitely would have threw 5 spot on it. Jamie Leroy, Bivol was a 7-1 to beat Canelo. So let me explain that real quick, Jamie Leroy. Vlog, Shane, and myself all thought Bivol could win the fight. We all thought Bivol was gonna get robbed though. That's why we ain't putting no bread on it.
That's another reason why you gotta pay attention when you betting boxing. You gotta the agenda. It's preset agenda. They're fighters that they've already pre-invested a certain amount of money in. Now he done went out there and underperformed. Rolly Romero, you get victories handed to you.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Taylor, just saying. You see what I mean? You're already invested in. So, oh shit, you underperformed. Well, you ain't get knocked out. He won. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You see?
Right.
You feel me?
Facts.
So you got to be careful when you betting your money, who you betting your money on, and what's going on with that particular fighter or whoever they're fighting against.
Facts. And Jamie Leroy, Tyson Fury to beat Vlad was 6-1. Yeah, it's been some. Listen, with boxing, most of the time we get the actual thought correct. We don't put bread on some fight strictly because of the judges. It ain't because of like our lack of homework or we can't see something happening. It's really like we think the judges is going to rob. I didn't bet on it neither. I thought he was going to get robbed. Listen, Canelo was up 4 rounds and nothing before the fight started, and the scorecards proved it.
And he got dog walked in the first.
Yeah, he got dog walked in the first, and they gave him the round. Burt Wood vlog. You ever holler at a fighter, fool? I got 100 on you. Fight back. in the TV screen, yes.
Hey,
the TV screen,
I ain't going live, bro. That boy Lopez had me like that this weekend, bro. I clean sweep on both cards, bro. I clean sweep. When I tell you I ran a boxing gauntlet this weekend, I watched every single fight because I damn near had money on every single fight. I did straight parlays, man. Both of them double-digit fight parlays and clean sweep them all. And a couple of them, about 2-3 of them was close. At least 2, 3, 4 of them was close. We got the young boy that Chris was pubbing, the Fierro cat, going up against Nunez. Close fight. But Nunez just with the cleaner punches.
Nunez is going to win that fight.
Huh?
I said, Vlog said that Nunez is going to win that fight.
Yeah, I mean, the young boy, what I knew about the young boy, I didn't think he was going to use his range the proper way, and he didn't. That's why I said, in my mind, I didn't do no videos this week. I got some other shit going on, but my prediction, the way I think, came out based on where I put my money at. So I figured that Nunez's speed was going to be a factor in that fight because the young boy wasn't going to use his range and force Nunez to jump in with that speed. You see what I'm saying? The young boy was jabbing too low. So Nunez was just countering over the top and clipping him. And the shots was way cleaner. The young boy fought good. 19-year-old kid, man, solid kid. He got a bright future. But if I was working with him, I need you standing up and I need you fighting behind that jab. Yeah. He was winging a lot of shots. Some was landing, a lot wasn't, and he was getting clipped in between. So, go back to the boy, Adam Lopez. Ooh, he was getting clipped. His chin game, this is about 3-4 knockdowns in about 2 straight fights. So you got to be leery if you're looking at him down the road in any step-up situations. Because this was a vet, 19-2, who had came off 2 straight defeats. But he had something to prove. You could say they stole one from him. Even in the Molina fight, you could say they stole one. But it's what you liked. I think they liked the volume from Lopez in between those knockdowns. He was getting off and he was moving.
Jamie Leroy said, Jeff, I respect that comment. I see where you're coming from. Yeah, a lot of times it'd be the judges. Like, if it wasn't for the judges, we'd be millionaires, to be honest with you. And I actually want to respond to somebody before we get up out of here, and we cover what we're going to do tomorrow. I want to respond to somebody that kind of hit my DM, and they were talking about Canelo. They were saying that like you have to like respect Canelo for taking the Bivol fight. So I just want to respond on camera. In a bubble, yes, you can say that, but we have evidence and proof that he took the Bivol fight for a certain reason, and he calculated wrong. He didn't take Bivol because he thought Bivol was a great fighter. He took Bivol because he thought Bivol was a snack. You know what I'm saying? And he found out the hard way that Bivol wasn't no snack. He got bad advice. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was.
Let me say this before we move on off this Saul subject. Don't be surprised if you see him in a John Ryder fight.
I've been saying that, bro. I've been pumping that. I said, yo, his next, I'm like, he's gonna see John Ryder within the next year.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised, man, because
I wouldn't be surprised,
that's
bro.
why they took that Danny Jacobs joint the way they did. They straight robbed Danny Jacobs in that one, so there had to be a reason for it,
Bro, and I'm gonna say this, and I told this dude this in the DMs. I said, yo, you can say what you want about Oscar De La Hoya. I guarantee you Oscar De La Hoya wouldn't have had Canelo against Bill. He know what time it is. He know what time it is.
Yeah, he a boxer.
Like Bill. He's a boxer. He knows. If he would have still been under Oscar, there's no way that fight happens. It's no way that fight happens. No way. Burt Wood in boxing, I would love the job of picking ring girls for the fight.
Burt.
Baby, listen.
What the easiest job in boxing?
He want the easy money. Fight or die boxing. Love me some Devin, but looking at the lack of power despite talent, hand speed, skill set, he will lose this fight, in my opinion. You know what, bro? I'm glad that you actually mentioned Devin Haney. I just want to.
Yeah, let me go, please, Jeff. Let me go. This dude deserves more respect than anybody in boxing right now. Now, we talk about all these duck fights, all of this contract avoidance, all of this behind the scenes sort of stuff. My guy sat down, was like, whatever, let's make it happen. So, to me, that deserves respect. We keep talking about Canelo taking Bivol on, respect. No, when you say, yo, your backyard, 2 straight fights, I don't care. That's so much confidence in yourself. I don't see why you can't get it done, baby. I don't see why you can't get it done, baby. Sound like Superman talk to me, baby. You know what I mean?
And
sound like Superman talk to me.
And let me add this fight or die. Let me add this on, bro. Now we all know Bill Haney wasn't able to make the trip, but a good friend of the show, Mr. Padman McGriff, is down there with them. So we are supposed to be on a we might have to do this old school style and have him like on the phone because he's all the way out there. I don't know if we will be able to actually get him on camera, but we are gonna get Padman McGriff on just to give us an update on what's going on out there. He's working directly with Devin Haney, so he'll basically be working with Yoel Judah and the rest of those guys for Devin Haney.
Let me ask Fight or Die Boxing a question. What fighter have you seen Kambosos fight that has Devin Haney's movement in London?
Said Fight or Die. I totally agree. Devin took a huge loss. So and let me add on to this. He said, I'll be there for that interview for sure. Yeah, we definitely gonna have Padman McGriff on. So and people lose context of this when it comes down to the Devin Haney situation and him getting the Kambosos fight. I look at it and I'm like, yo, it was meant for him to have it. It was meant for him to have it. For him to be in the situation that he's in now, getting the unification fight, him taking the risk that he took, because he bet on himself. And the reason why I give Devin Haney so much credit is because it's for this reason. And people, they lose sight of this. Devin Haney was willing to take all the sacrifices that he was taking, but technically, if it wasn't for Lomachenko having to go and fight for his country, because he initially had to fight, like it was locked in. He initially had to fight. So Devin Haney had to turn around and renegotiate after Lomachenko was like, nah, I can't take the fight. Like, I got to fight for my country. He doubled down on what he originally negotiated and got the fight after Lomachenko couldn't get it. So that's another reason why we got to give Devin Haney credit, because he could have easily just moved on. But he went right back to the situation and really put himself behind the 8 ball. Like, that is the true definition of betting on yourself. That's the true definition of betting on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And he went through the process and he got it done, man. So we gotta salute that. We definitely
I
gotta
ain't
salute
gonna
that.
lie, bro. If I was him, I would stay in the enemy's backyard. That's how confident I would be after beating his ass. I wouldn't even come back home. I'd stay there until that second fight. Nigga, give me 3 months, bro. I don't want to hear nothing. Fuck all that 6 months and all this old nonsense. Nah, back in there in 3 months, beat that ass again, and then come on home, baby.
Yeah, Burt Wood, he said, vlog is not fair. Haney has to wear mask during a fight and Killer Cam not. Is that true?
Who?
He said, are you saying that Devin Haney has to wear a mask during the fight and Kambosos don't?
It won't matter
Yeah,
because I think they still on some some of that situation thing going on down there.
yeah.
You know,
Fighter Die said, you got me. He said, family, I salute that 100%. I'm just talking stylistically. Kambosos got the chin and power. So let me get at that real quick, vlog. Let me get at that real quick. So here's the thing with Kambosos, right? Kambosos is a good fighter. I don't want to take anything away from Kambosos. Kambosos is a good fighter. The
I
reason
thought they were
why,
going to steal the Selby fight from him. Go ahead, Jeff.
yeah, I like Kambosos is a good fighter. The reason why Kambosos looks so good against Teofimo, and this is something that Padman put us on with. This is why Padman McGriff is such an essential part of Devin Haney's camp. Kambosos had somebody in his camp that was with Teofimo and them when he was young, like for years. So he had the drop on Teofimo Lopez going into the fight. He had the whole drop on him. And you could tell because Kambosos was adjusting to Teofimo's every single move. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying here, bro, is Kambosos is not going to have that same drop on Devin Haney. He's not going to have that same drop on Devin Haney. So, yes, does Kambosos, does he got a solid chin? Yes, he does. Does he got solid speed? Yes, he does. But I do feel like Devin is a level above in every single category. So it's going to take for Kambosos to have it's going to take for Devin Haney to have slightly an off night, and Kambosos is going to have a fight of his life to win this fight, in my opinion.
One thing y'all that you got to take into consideration when you got somebody that pop that jab like that, and then you got somebody that bruises heavily, cuts very easily, that could be a factor in this fight. You see what I'm saying? So these cuts and things like that, not because of head clashes, but because of damage. You know what I mean? Even Teofimo was putting damage on him, and Teofimo accuracy was hella off in that fight. Maybe it was because he had blood in his own eyes and things like that, but he wasn't very accurate. But the shots he was landing, they was rocking your boy Kambosos' face, and you could see the damage on his face.
Yeah.
No, you tell 100%. Me this guy that's hella accurate, let's just say he don't got the power, but damage comes after a certain amount of shots that's laid upon you too. So that's something I also lean towards Devin having in his favor.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Listen, it's gonna be a good fight, and fight or die. What I will say, bro, is if Devin Haney doesn't do the core things that Devin Haney usually does, and he hasn't given us a reason to think that he's not going to do the core things that Devin Haney usually does. And what we mean by that, work behind that jab, make sure the movement is there, make sure he's controlling distance, everything is snappy. You know what I'm saying? Only downside to Devin Haney is that he's not putting maximum weight on the shots. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you're not seeing some of the big shots that you usually see from other guys. But Kambosos is going to give him opportunities to get that done in this fight, just off of Kambosos' fighting style. So as long as Devin Haney do what he usually does, he's setting the table up for him to have a really good performance against Kambosos. Kambosos needs help to win this fight. He needed help to win the Teofimo fight. Like, he needs help to win this fight. Devin Haney doesn't need help to win this fight. He can go in and do typical Devin Haney and win this fight. Kambosos can't say that. That's the difference between the two. Yeah, but that's why we watch the fights. That's why we watch the fights at the end of the day. Burt Wood said, good podcast, number 594. Thank you. Hey, man, we appreciate you. And the thing is, we getting ready to get up off of here. and I don't think we really got into half of the stuff that we was supposed to get into because it's just so much.
Yeah, tomorrow I want to talk Janabek, maybe a possibility getting the Maul fight if Maul don't move up, and that's a major fight. Yeah. Janabek, maybe getting Andre since the 168 situation kind of fell apart, and with the injury, we don't know. Janabek seemed to be the hot cat on the block, and that's Aglamayev. Aglamayev. That's his last name, Janabek Aglamayev.
Yeah, Janabek. We got to talk about Janabek. I'm gonna have some film queued up of the Buatsi fight. I'm gonna have some film queued up of the Babbage fight. I'm also gonna have some film queued up of the Jamel Herring and Ortiz fight. So we're gonna do a little bit of not film study, but kind of film review of those fights.
We definitely need to talk about this boy Pascal, man. He had an upset of what we could call a 3-day weekend. He beat that Southpaw Ming. All I'm gonna say about that is, man, they need to test this boy bone marrow now. This boy then took so much shit. I don't think you can pull a hair follicle, bro. You can't take a piss test with this guy, man. You might have to check his bone marrow, break his arm, and get a sample, bro. Because I didn't see that happening, bro. I lost the bag on that.
He said, break his arm and get a sample.
You gotta check because when you taking so much stuff, bro, that shit might get in your rib. It might get deep in your core, bro. It might be hard to shut that shit, man. I don't know, bro. But that was an upset. I did not see that. The Southpaw Ming got a little pop on him. I wouldn't say he's defensively the soundest guy. I still gotta look at more of that fight clip. I only saw a couple of little clips of that. Yeah. That was crazy. Upset of the week. Me.
Fight or die boxing, good podcast. I'll be there. Big shout out to you with the $4.99 super chat. It says salute my bros, man. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you stopping through, man, for sure. Burt Wood, have y'all heard the built-in excuses for Haney? They can't find his room key, cab late. Nah, man, they ain't nobody worried about that, bro. I'll tell my man Padman McGriff out there. Hey, Burt. Hey, Burt. My man Padman McGriff out there wouldn't trust me. He's good money. Like if I'm in
out there too. Pops Judah out there.
Pops Judah out there. Like so he good money. Don't get it twisted. He good money. That's like if I go out there to Arizona and I'm out there with Vlog. Like he good money.
Yeah, you good.
I'm good money when I get out there. Like you know what I'm saying?
You know you good.
Yeah, I like when Shane was here, he was good money when he came here. Like it's just it's just a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like so Devin Haney good. Even though listen, I don't want to downplay it. But the best case scenario is that you got some really good OGs with you when you got a situation like that. So the fact that he got Papa Judah out there, and of course he's cool with Zab too. So he got Zab in his ear, and you got a guy like Padman McGriff. And Padman McGriff is, for the people that don't know who Padman McGriff is, to be honest with you, just his personality, his persona, it's a lot like Bozy Ennis. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot like Bozy Ennis, like no nonsense, knowledgeable dude, straight up and down. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so, Devin Haney's out there was solid. Yeah, he out there with solid dudes. Like so, I don't want people to think like he out there by himself roaming the streets and shit. Like, nah.
He out there with auntie and little cousins.
Right. He good money. He good. Trust me. He gonna go into the fight. For me, that's not gonna be an excuse.
Now we can analyze that fight a little bit more, maybe tomorrow, because I got some other angles that I want y'all to think about, especially when we look at outcomes. So we can tap into that a little bit more tomorrow. Definitely want to talk Janabek. You know what I mean? Some other things.
Babbage. There's a lot we gotta cover. There's a lot we gotta cover, man. Like we tried to cover as much as we could today, man. Like, but we got about 5 hours worth of talk, and we've been on for 2 hours, man. So we're gonna continue this tomorrow. So it's basically gonna be a part 2 of what you got today, but we're gonna bring a little more film into it. Talk about future matchups. I definitely want to talk about Janabek. Like Janabek is definitely a player at 160 pounds, man. Like he's definitely a player at 160, and we got to get into it. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna close this one out, man. Episode 94. I don't know what happened with Shane, but big shout out to VP Shane, aka Ice Cold Shane. If you want to follow Shane on social media, it's right there. Follow VP Shane on Instagram at I_am Shane the number one, at I_am Shane the number one, exclusively on Instagram. And Boxing First Vlog, give me your social media, give me your YouTube and all that.
Well, you see the channel up there, hit that link, man. You know what I mean? You get the podcast on my channel. I'll be back putting some videos out, definitely talking about Haney, definitely talking about Tank, things like that. Some other fights that's gonna be on the radar. Because I'm looking to cash out in this game, become a 100,000 off this boxing and boxing strictly. Anyway, man, I'm doing crazy work on Instagram, bro. I put in 16 hours of boxing coverage, got some clips in my 1-2 based on the whole day's events. So go ahead over there and hit that like. Definitely follow me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna start covering boxing a lot more from the betting perspective because it's money in these streets. If we ain't in the ring getting it with the fighters, we can get it out here in these back rooms with these people. Feel me?
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So it's about beating the house over here. You feel me? So tap in with me, man, on Instagram. We use the number one where you see the word first. And tap in, hit that follow, hit that like, and all of that. Comment.
Hey yo, Birdwood said, "Tell me to stay in the lane on questions my wife does." Hey, bro, you can ask whatever questions you want to ask, man. You family, man. So it's, you know what I mean? You family. So don't ever think like that, bro. I'm all over the place, man. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, G5JeffTV. Website, G5JeffTV.com. We are finalizing everything on the sponsor. We had some some back room issues that we had to clean up, but we putting the final touches on that so we can actually get the website updated, up and going, and then you'll be able to see us, with the pen game and things like that. And we can get season 3 of the Prediction Fantasy League started. So we got that going on, and we just got a lot of boxing to cover. We got a lot of boxing to cover, man. We're gonna be back tomorrow, cooking right back up part 2 of this, and we're gonna bring some footage in. We're gonna break down some film, and we're gonna talk future fights. We got to talk about the fights coming up this weekend. We're gonna save the breakdowns more so probably for Thursday. We're gonna break them down. I'm actually off on Friday, so we're gonna do a Friday show. I have Friday off, so it's rare that we actually be able to get on a Friday, but we're actually gonna be able to get on a Friday this week and actually really break down break down some of these fights that's going down this upcoming weekend. So it's gonna be a real good weekend. We're gonna have Padman on. We supposed to have Evis and Gabu on as well this week. We're gonna try to squeeze that in. Big shout out to my guy Tree James too, man. He got a fight offer on the Daniel Dubois card. I actually I'm his de facto manager, so I told him to turn the fight down. I ain't like the details of it. You know what I'm saying? But listen, on behalf of VP Shane, Boxing First Vlog, your boy G5 Jeff TV. We will see y'all tomorrow, episode 95 of the Goodfellas podcast. We out.